What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things box. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's talk about it. So something that has, I would say, many boxing fans outraged is the fact that in recent days, I want to say, when did I hear this? About 2 days ago now, I heard that Jake Paul has now been ranked number 14 by the WBA, World Boxing Association. I mean, in WBA, prestigious organization, one of the big four in boxing as far as championship belts go. You've got WBC, WBA, WBO, and IBF. So this is one of the big four organizations in professional boxing that, this is one of the titles that young kids, when you start boxing, this is something that you dream of. So Jake Paul ranked at number 14. This is following his defeat of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. over last weekend, just gone, Saturday, just gone. And somehow they're saying, well, that kind of justifies him being ranked number 14. And what this also means for Jake Paul is that he is eligible to fight for a world title. So this means that the WBA champion at Cruiserweight could actually give Jake Paul a a voluntary shot, should I say. So he's now in a position where he could fight for a WBA world title at Cruiserweight if the Cruiserweight champion so chooses. He's been sizing up Zudo Ramirez and etc., etc. And for me personally, though, I think this is what you call a complete and utter disgrace, really, for boxing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have an issue with Jake Paul having a professional license, picking his fights. I think, it is what it is. When it comes to him being in the sport of boxing, picking fights and stuff like that, I think ultimately, as I've said in other videos, professional boxing is a business, and it's about entertainment, it's about numbers, it's about how much you can generate, how many eyes you can get on your fights, and that kind of dictates your purse, what how much you make in boxing. And Jake Paul, in a sense, is doing good things, having good undercards, is doing things for the female boxing, Serrano and Taylor and that. And yeah, he's doing decent things. He's done things for fighter pay as well. So yeah, there's some good things about him. But I think when it comes to things like this, the rankings, this is where I kind of take issue with it. And I suppose you can't even really take issue with Jake Paul himself, because at the end of the day, Jake Paul, of course he wants a ranking, but it's down to the organizations, and it's down to organizations like the WBA to do the right thing and not give him the ranking. So Jake Paul, he's an opportunist. So if he's been given this ranking by the WBA, he's going to take it. I'm sure if you gave KSI a ranking, if the WBC's decided, you know what, we like KSI, we'll rank him number 20, we'll rank him number 14 with the WBC, and we'll give him that. You're not gonna, these guys, they're opportunists, they're not gonna turn it down. But to me, I think it's, as far as in terms of boxing, professional boxing, this is a bit of a black eye here, because as I said, it would be one thing if Jake Paul got to this ranking by, fighting, let's say, guys around the top 20, fighting and beating some of the guys that are around that sort of top 15, top 20. I mean, even if he beat one, guy that was sort of around that level of, let's say, top 20 or whatever, I could sort of understand it, or, the rank number 16 or 15 or whatever. If he actually had a credible win against somebody in the top of the cruiserweight division, then I would say, all right, cool. If he beat a couple of people that are, floating around that top 15, top 20 rank, and then they gave him a number 14, I'd say, right, no problem. But I think the fact that he's done the right thing with his career. He's fought UFC guys, safe, guys he knows he can beat. He's fought Chavez, who's lazy, who don't take the game seriously. Yeah, he's done the right thing there. But I think that what he's done so far is fine for him as YouTuber, as a novice. It's fine for him as a novice, but again, it just doesn't warrant a top, a rank number 14 in the WBA. It just doesn't rank, because you've got fighters that are of that upper echelon, that are high level boxers that are ranked below him. You've got guys that are, seriously good prospects, but that, they're not in the top 15 or whatever. So yeah, I think it's, for me, I think it's purely money motivated, and it's a disgrace really to professional boxing, because yeah, it's, as I said before, it's fine to have him in the sport. It's fine. He's doing his thing. He's entertaining. He's doing what he's doing. He's generating money. You can't argue with that. But I think ranking wise, this is where you've got to draw the line and say, right, yes, he's a big name, but unless he actually earns it, and unless he actually fights a good name, fights one of the top cruiserweights, then he shouldn't be ranked anywhere, near the top 30 or whatever. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.